Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Content Alchemy. Matt, how are you?
Pretty good. But wait, I think I hear something. Is that jingle bells?
Oh my gosh! Is Santa on the roof? Is he here? I think I see a snowflake, Matt.
Yep, it is still close to like 100 degrees outside, so maybe not quite yet. But we got some stuff to talk about today.
It is Christmas in August, my friends.
Yep.
All right. We today are talking about seasonal content. Woo! I know. Everybody's thinking about it now. Finally, we're here. Everyone's like, what are we going to do for Christmas? I don't know, guys. I you know what, to be really honest though, Matt, I have started thinking about my Christmas shopping.
Have you really?
I have. Yes. I haven't bought anything, but I've been thinking about it.
I do this thing where I have a list on my phone of every person's name that I will end up shopping for. Mm-hmm. And throughout the year, I update this list. So even if it's like April and somebody says, man, I wish I could have like this thing. And I'm like, okay. And I make a little note of it on my phone. They think I'm just texting or something, but I make a little note.
You're like, oh, that Matt, he's so distracted. He doesn't care what I want. Nope.
Yep. No, that's not true. I keep a running list of things. Much easier to do for my kids than it is other people. But every so often things just like pop up. Like, so if a family member is like, you know what, I really want to like get into running more and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to buy you shoes.
I'm going to buy you shoes.
You know, could be something like that. I'll even like, you know, if I'm like at their house, I might look and see what their shoe size is and like do some snooping to try to figure it out.
Over here like, Matt's a creeper, but no, he just cares.
Yeah. This is why like I get so pissed when my mom is like, hey, what do you want for Christmas this year? I'm like, don't ask me. You got to just listen throughout the year like I do.
I 100% agree with that. I do not like that question of what do you want? Guys, I don't know. Literally, I don't know.
What do you think that I want?
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. To me, that's way more meaningful than just like picking out something specifically and then just that thing arrives. And I'm like, oh, yes. I'm not surprised because I said that. But then also, my mom does this other thing too. Sorry, I don't mean to attack my mom here, but she'll ask what you want, and then you finally like just tell her something, and then she just won't get it anyway. She'll get something else entirely.
She just wanted to know.
And I'm like, wait, so like, I wanted you just to like choose something, and then you force me to tell you, and then you just go back to what I initially said, and you just give me what you think. I don't know.
Well, there's a reason we didn't record this on Mother's Day, because Matt's just out here attacking his mom.
No, she's a good mother. She's just not the best at shopping for Christmas. I don't know.
I will say that just as another little anecdote, I have one of my best friends. She mentioned in passing at one point in her family that she liked Bob Ross. This woman has now a giant collection of just Bob Ross things because they're like, we don't know what to buy her. Let's get her Bob Ross stuff. This poor girl. And you know what? I was guilty of it too. I bought her some Bob Ross stuff too. I feel so bad.
Yep.
So bad.
I can't remember. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I can't remember what it is specifically, but Megan's mom, my wife Megan, her mom gets her like some candy. I can't remember what it is. But like she's been giving her this candy for years, and she's like, I don't know why she thinks I love this, but like every year she's like, oh, thanks. And she thinks that she's like, she knows everyone's favorite candy, and she's just
That's cute though.
Yeah, so she just plays along. It's fun.
I like that just playing along. That's an important thing, is to just play along at Christmas. That's okay.
I agree.
Awesome. All right. Okay, guys. Leave your comments below on like what you guys want for Christmas too. Drop them in the comments. Okay, thank you. That's my influencer voice. I'm not good at this. All right. Okay. Let's get serious. Okay, seasonal content. This is the time of year when we start getting requests for Christmas cards.
Yep.
And all sorts of stuff. Rarely a Halloween moment, which is disappointing to me.
Very true.
We need to be capitalizing on spooky stuff. But I want to talk about today how we create seasonal content that can align with someone's brand, whether that be a Christmas card or a longer video or, maybe more of a traditional ad or something like that, even if it just comes down to an email, right? How do you make something that really clearly aligns with your brand, your goals, your storytelling as a whole? Because it can be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be necessarily Christmas or whatever. I mean, it just winter themed. It could be Halloween. Maybe it's Valentine's Day. But also just picking things that, really, really align with you. So let's talk about it. Matt, you have a lot of opinions on this. Yeah. I'm going to have you just kind of start hopping in.
Yeah, we'll just do the
Matt
scatter here.
Yeah.
There's a couple things here. It is very interesting that this time of year, we only ever really get that request of like, hey, end of year, end of the holiday season type content. Like, let's see what we can make. We don't get asked to do that pretty much with any other holiday. I don't know. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. What I have generally attributed it to is that when you get close to the end of the year, everyone has a very clear picture of what their budgets are. And it's often easier for them to spend money on maybe non-essentials. I don't want to necessarily say it like that, but things that they probably wouldn't have had the idea of earlier in the year. So we get to the end of the year and people realize, hey, we have some budget to do something. Let's go ahead and do it. Now, the things that we often are asked to make is generally the kind of stuff that pulls on heartstrings, the stuff that is a little bit more emotional, the stuff that feels much more personal. And I think it's often because people are already in that frame of mind. They are shopping for gifts for other people. It's kind of the most selfless time of year, really. And I think brands do try to capitalize on that. It's interesting because I kind of derail us. This is first derailment of the podcast here. So I help my dad with a business called Ohio Workshop, and I design, and he creates these products, right? And it revolves a lot around wood making or CNC or 3D printing. OhioWorkshop.com.
Oh, there you go.
We do shows occasionally. He mostly does the shows, but if he's in the area, I'll join him. And it's always so funny to us when we have events like any other time of the year, like it's okay. But people are generally shopping for themselves. But when we get into those last 3 to 4 months of the year, people are shopping for other people, and they're far more willing to spend money and buy things that are just cool, right? Anyway, I often think about that because it's not unique to just products. I believe there is just a higher spend in general with the overall economy in those last few months of the year. So I feel like brands want to have some sort of piece of content that tries to solidify a relationship in that end of the year time, right? When things are at their most emotional.
Yep.
But I think that most brands fail. And it feels like a disingenuous money grab.
Yep.
And I don't have a percentage here. It's not based on fact. It's just what I generally see from everyone during that time of year is just, it's kind of a last ditch effort to try to haul in some money before the end of the year. That's kind of what it feels like. And I don't think that every brand does that, but that's something that we always have to keep in mind when somebody comes to us and they're like, hey, we want to do like a holiday card type thing. Every single time that somebody asks us to do something, it's like, all right, yeah, we want to help, but also we don't want to just create another piece that's to be ignored and just another piece of noise out in the world, right?
Yep.
And it often leads to some pretty deep and meaningful conversations with the people that we're working with.
It's really something too. I think that we get into it. It's like, okay, well, here's the holiday mindset. We just have to pump something out quickly so we can just get something in somebody's emails, get something on TV, whatever. But I think it's such a good opportunity to be thinking about your goals for the next year because it's really setting a precedent of kind of what your new season's going to look like, whether that be kind of, New Year's Eve type content or whatever. It's something where you can really start aligning yourself, especially working with different studios, talking about ideas for potential stories that you're going to be telling in this. Is how do you want people to be thinking about you going into the next year? Do you want them to be thinking about you as just a cash grab in their emails? Or do you want to do something a little bit bigger? And I think it's a great opportunity to be asking those questions. And especially usually people have a week, maybe 2 weeks off after that video is going to come out. It's time for them to be able to reflect internally on their own teams. I just think it's a time for reset, and using that as an opportunity to reset is, I think, something that people ignore. They aren't taking that as much as they should be.
Right. And I guess that's it. Like, it kind of goes back to what I was saying, where like they have these budgets and they're like, hey, like I have an idea, I want to do this thing, but they don't have a real plan
Yeah.
for what it is. They don't really know exactly what they want to do with it exactly. So it's a very slippery slope, but like you said, it's an opportunity if they can take it and do it right anyway.
Let's talk about, I think, storytelling and how you can tell a story through seasonal content. Because that's really, the heart of this is it's not just about making a sale. Obviously, yay, okay, awesome. Maybe there's some brand loyalty that we're able to do in this. Maybe there's a bigger moment. I think brand loyalty is really the biggest piece of this because you're not probably going to get like a really big awareness piece. You might. We've definitely seen some in the past. Depends on how you kind of approach it. But I think brand loyalty is really the thing. So how are you able to celebrate everybody from the past year and also be able to show them what you're doing in this next year, what your goals are, what stories you want to be telling, where your heart lies as a brand too, because that's really, that's the thing we were talking about, like, oh, what pulls on the heartstrings? So what is the heart of the brand? What heartstrings are we pulling on? Maybe it's not even that. Maybe we're just funny. That's awesome. That's great. But being able to set a tone, I think, for the next year is a great thing. So how are we able to tell a story through seasonal content, whether it be through something very bite-sized or maybe something through a longer story?
Yeah, I think that a lot of it comes down to, like you were talking about before, there has to be a purpose. There should be a purpose with any piece of content, right? And this is really no different.
Yep.
And it depends on, okay, are we focusing on that awareness level? Are we just trying to build trust here? Are we trying to make a sale? Now, I'm not going to say that any of those are necessarily wrong just because it's the holiday season, but I think that it's wrong when you start to try to combine multiple things together, right? When you're trying to build trust and then right at the end you're trying to swoop in there and make the sale. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's going to do a lot more harm than it is good. And to me, we just see the worst of the worst, basically, during the holiday season. When people don't have that correct strategy, we see it all sort of starting to fall apart. And again, whenever people come to us for these types of things, we have to go through this. We have to figure out, okay, what is the actual strategy here? Which one part of the funnel are we trying to have a piece of content for exactly?
Yeah.
But there are times where, so even when someone's like, hey, we have an email and we want to do this like cool animation for it, I'm like, great, what else is in the email? Like, I want to know everything that we can possibly know about this. And like, what is the goal? Like, what is the one thing you want people to walk away with? Like, yeah, when we make a great video, we get people's attention, but what exactly is it that you're trying to say? And again, it can fall apart very quickly when there's just no real purpose. Like, if this is just something that, hey, we have some extra budget and we want to make a thing, that's fine, but there has to be something more here still, just like anything else, no matter the time of year, basically.
Well, and it's interesting because we have the conversations about strategy 364 days a year, and then there's just that one where it's, oh, we don't have a strategy, just make something cool. Well,
Right.
why? I mean, obviously we can make something cool, but man, if you can do something with it beyond just having something cool, then you've really done something. Then you're really saying something. And letting it be cohesive with the rest of the year. You know,
Right.
if you can make it feel lived in, but still something that, speaks to that seasonal piece, you've done something great.
Right. So last year we worked with a partner. Their name is Munich Re, and it's just a good example of how that sort of conversation happens where they came to us and they're like, hey, we want to do like this holiday video. And it's like, well, why?
Mm-hmm.
And turns out that they are going through a bit of a rebrand. They have offices all over the world, basically. They're trying to use this as an opportunity to like, it wasn't even really, I mean, I guess it was kind of for customers, but it was also for like their internal team too. Like, hey,
Yep.
we need something that can kind of pull us all together, just bring us all together a little bit. So no, we weren't trying to sell anything. Um, Everyone was generally already aware. So this was like really big trust building piece of content, really. Again, externally and internally.
Yep.
And they wanted to highlight just some of the different locations that they are in, and again, show how they're all connected through this new brand pattern that they're using. So to me, I'm like, great, we can get behind that. Like, that's something that we can work with. But again, if it's something like we just want to make people cry, it's like, well, why? I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to achieve different feelings, but there just has to be a reason on why. And again, it just has to connect back to that strategy at the end. We've seen a lot of interesting things over the last during the last holiday season. We saw things like, well, every year Starbucks has their cups, and
Yep. Yep.
that's always the thing. Somehow manages to be controversial. That's the thing
Every single year.
every year. We see things like the Spotify Wrapped list, and we see a lot of brands sort of taking that and doing their own spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
We see things like Coke's AI ad.
Let's talk about that.
Let's go into that a little bit. And on top of that, um, I want to know if you think that that's going to happen more going forward.
Yeah, I have thoughts. Okay, so Coca-Cola, I think, was for years, decades, synonymous with Christmas and winter and what their ads would look like. We've got the polar bears. It's very cute. It's very fun. And I agree. I mean, they're good spots. I mean, to be able to really cement yourself as being part of things. I mean, everybody had, Coca-Cola polar bear sweatshirts and stuff. I mean, there was a moment. It's a brand moment. It's great. And then they used AI last year. And I don't think that they could have made a worse decision than that, quite frankly. I know what they were trying to do. I know they're trying to be tech forward, innovative. I get it. I know what they're trying to do. But also, it's the holiday season, which is a very human season. It's not a time to be really tech centered. There's a time and place for that. And I don't think that the holiday season is that time. Particularly in a time where it's about family and about joy and friendship and love and human emotions, right? And then to put AI in there. I think there's the potential that we're going to see more AI content in that way. I'm not sure Coca-Cola is going to do it again. I think it'd be a mistake if they did, just based on last year. But I think that especially for some smaller brands, I think we're definitely going to see that. Just because they're not having these conversations. I mean, it's what we're talking about right now. They're not having a lot of these conversations about what is the story that we're telling with this. It's just, get something out with our logo and some colors and go, 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 go. And I think that this is the time to be thinking about that more deeply, as opposed to just quickly slapping together something with AI.
No, I think that they There's a part of me that says they knew what the response would be by
Yeah.
using AI, and they were simply doing it to cause a scene.
And they didn't have to say anything. I think that's the other part of this is they didn't have to say anything. But the choice to say something says something in and of itself. And I think we saw that quite a few times last year with some different brands, especially major brands using AI. Is some of them you wouldn't have been able to tell, honestly. And then because people aren't looking that close, it's like, oh, okay, like it's just an ad, whatever. I mean, oftentimes people they're just taking something in, especially if it's not particularly a strong piece either. But they chose to talk about it. People on their team chose to talk about it. People noticed it because it wasn't particularly strong. Um, and there was really no story to it either. And it
Right.
didn't feel like there was a lot of heart. And a lot of those past pieces with Coca Cola, they were able to put quite a bit of heart into the storytelling on those, especially some of those older ones. I mean, we have families, polar bear family. Hello,
Right.
who doesn't want a polar bear family? That's
Right.
cute. So when you're adding just AI in there and you don't really have a good story for it, you're taking away, I mean, jobs at the holiday season away from artists. People are going to talk about that.
Yep. Yeah, I do wonder if we're going to see more of that, though.
Yeah.
Um, I think the conversation's already been established at this point. Um, I don't know. Um, it's just crazy to me. It'll always be crazy to me that if you spend so much on just the media buys and you try to like cheap out on one
Yes.
area and you get this really underwhelming thing in the end. I don't know. Like I think that's it. I think that they were really just trying to start the conversation and or be in the conversation and
Yeah.
have it be a thing that people talk about during their holiday meals. And I don't know, they knew exactly what they were doing, I feel like. I don't know. I don't even know if it's a conspiracy theory. I think
I
this
don't
is
think it is either.
it's just kind of like, hey, they knew what they were doing and they
I
tried
think
it.
that I think that's pretty common. Of they know what they're doing. I mean, the Sydney Sweeney jeans thing. We talked about that last week. I think people know what they're doing, right? People are aware of what they're doing. They know what the strategy is. They don't always know how big a response is going to be, and I don't think Coke probably knew how big a response is going to be. We're kind of a Pepsi family over in our household.
Yeah.
So we talked about it a little bit, but it wasn't going to impact us because we were going to have a little bit of Pepsi anyway, or ginger ale. So sorry, Coke. But I think I think it's good to have those conversations. And I mean, even going into the Starbucks stuff, Starbucks released an ad last year. I think it was called like, what was it? It's let me see, the Drink In, Breathe Out ad. And it's, partially animated, a little bit of live action, kind of a mix of different mediums in there, which I think is very fun. But it's all about feeling overwhelmed with the holidays, which really speaks to Starbucks because what is Starbucks? It's coffee. It's being able to have a little caffeine, have a little pep in your step, be able to kind of conquer the world. That's a great thing for the holidays when things are overwhelmed, when you're, running around, you have a million things you're trying to tackle. Okay, but Starbucks is there as your constant, just like it is for the rest of the year, and you can feel a little bit of extra energy. What a great approach to storytelling in that. Whether the cups be controversial or not, that's a really good piece of storytelling because it's a brand that is aware of what it is and what they give to people. AI and Coca-Cola doesn't feel aware of what it gives to people.
Yep. Anything else that you think we're going to see more of this holiday season?
Um, I'm really hoping that we see more moments of brand loyalty. It's something that I really appreciate. I mean, a lot of the brands that I follow. So one of like, there's a brand by she started off as a YouTuber. She's Simply Nailogical. She's name's Christine. She's a very very smart businesswoman. She ended up creating a nail polish brand. And I've never seen somebody who is able to work on a holiday on such a small level so well. her emails are so well received. She's not having to make any big videos or anything. She just is able to make very honest, good, forward messaging to her audience to a point where the audience is all taking it in. They're all talking about it. They're, oh my gosh, she's so sweet. She's so wonderful. And it's a CEO of a brand who is very forward facing, who's saying, guys, I appreciate everything that you've done for me this year. Also here, like, let's do a review of everything that's sold this year. Let's talk about things. How were you involved as a customer? That kind of stuff where it's a really, really personal connection of how were you personally involved in our journey as a customer. That speaks volumes, 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 and especially having the face of a company talking about that because it is so rare to have that kind of transparency. I think that that's going to be something that we see more is a little bit more transparency. And it's something that I personally want to see more because we're moving forward into that influencer, the thought leadership. I want to see more of that at the end of the year of how was the year? What are we doing moving forward? Are we excited about things? And also just moving away from just, we got to get something out. You don't have to get something out. You don't have to say anything at all, to be really frank. I mean, it would be better to not say anything at all than to put something out that's bad, mediocre, or that makes your company look like a cash grab. So I'm hoping that we spend more time just thinking about what we're creating before we're pushing it out into the world.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's a trend that we're seeing overall. And I think we've talked about it before, especially with things like AI, where people can make 1,000 ads in a day now at this point.
Yeah.
And it becomes like, hey, okay, maybe we don't say too much. I think there's just going to be... the battle for attention has never been weirder than it is right now.
Too true.
When everyone has the ability to just type in a prompt and get a thing back. But as far as the actual competition for that attention, there's only, I don't know. If your goal is, again, just to get your logo out there and shout your name, whatever, that's one thing. But to really have a message, to have something that's going to be remembered, that should be the whole point. And not just for the holidays. It should be the point all the time.
All year.
Is, like taking the time to make sure that any one thing that you make, it has a purpose, and you're adding to the conversation in a positive way, or adding to just society in a positive way.
Yes.
I think it's very clear that everyone is overwhelmed by the amount of just trash that's being spewed around all the time, whether that's advertising, politics, every aspect of our lives, right? And it's overwhelming for people. And I think if we're doing the right thing, we see that conversation being much quieter this season and moving forward.
Agreed. And especially, I mean, just having an understanding during that time. I mean, and I think it's an important thing to have that understanding at all times. I think it's very good to be aware as a brand, not just of your brand, but also being aware of the world at large from a social position, cultural, economic. I mean, just being aware of what's happening and how people are feeling, I think is really important. But the holidays are a hard time for a lot of people, right? And when they step outside, so maybe people are going through already a difficult time, and then they're just being sold to constantly. They're just being beaten down by, you need to be buying this, you need to be doing this. I think it's being really aware of what that time means for folks, and don't just be another ad that overwhelms them on their way to other things, because it's not what you want to be. Because then you're just part of the noise. Rise above it, be something that can remember them, be something that inspires them, be a positive moment during an oftentimes overwhelming time. Use it as a time to just be kind and be good.
Yep, I agree. And again, like, if you have something that you're trying to sell and that's the point, you can still do that too.
For sure.
But I like you said, I just, if you don't have anything but noise, then it's probably best as of right now, to just not say anything at all.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's all I got.
All right. Have a good message, guys. That's the thing. All right. This was a short and sweet episode. Hopefully it got some folks thinking about what they're going to be doing this holiday season. But make some magical content, guys. So that's our message to you. But until next time, stay magical.
Bye.
Content Alchemy is presented by Made by Things. To learn more about us, check out madebythings.com. And if you have a topic you'd like us to discuss, send us a message at alchemy@madebythings.com.